take a moment and turn off anything that might distract you, if you can, from the richness of our time together. And also, if you're joining us today on Facebook or YouTube, you can click the icon for closed captioning, and that will help if you are having trouble hearing our service. And I know sometimes, I also want to appreciate the tech people, because we have wonderful tech people helping us. Every once in a while, something mysterious happens, and you might not be able to hear what's going on here. I don't know what that, it happens. And so you can use closed captioning for that, which is really wonderful. So anyway, that's all the preliminaries, and we're going to start, as usual, with a wonderful song from Susan Clark.
Thank you, Marilyn. If you would please stand. And that's actually our closing song for today, but we can do the closing song to open with. I'm not picky. Oh, here we go. There's the opening song. All right. Kind of mellow. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the ancient pain is forgotten, and the Father's debts are clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. Let's repeat that last line. And peace over the land. One more time. And peace spread over the land. Thanks very much.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to RGCSL, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. I am your cruise director, Reverend Gil Olmsted. Yes, yeah, I can't say anything like that in front of Susan because she'll start singing. There's always a song, right? There's always a song.
There's always a song, yes.
Indeed. So we are here today, as we are every week and every day of our lives, to transform our world with the power of love in action. And so we see that all around the center, and those who are volunteering and helping. We have folks volunteering in tech, volunteering in the bookstore, volunteering in my office, taping things together. They're everywhere. You just never know where you'll find somebody doing something. And of course, our practitioners bring a special gift each week. And I have this morning with us, we have Marilyn O'Leary, who will be coming to us with the vision and mission and a reading from her beautiful book. And she'll show it to you. And we have Greg on High Watch this morning. And we have, there she is, Talia will be leading us in prayer. Okay. So that is the overall introduction. And so let's get started with our opening evocation.
Thank you. So let's begin with knowing who we really are. And who we are is that divine love made manifest in each one of us. Made manifest to blossom, to grow, even with growing pains. And to come through even brighter, more beautiful, stronger, more resilient, wise, and loving than ever before. And as we do, we shine that light. It cannot be helped. The light is gorgeous and huge, stupendous and infinite. And it is who you are. So here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, we welcome you to come and shine your light with us as we all shine and grow together in beauty and harmony and in love divine. Please say with me, and so it is. Thank you.
Spirit is big, but we're not turned on. Am I turned on now? Oh, look at that. There I am. Okay, once again, spirit is big. Big. And so we can't necessarily contain it, but what we try to do is get something that helps us understand. And so the principles of science of mind and New Thought, Ancient Wisdom, we're just going to highlight 4 things that will help understand this whole thing. And first of all, there is only one power, that one big power. It's everywhere present, known by different names, called by different things, but the same power. Secondly, we know that our thought is creative. We participate in what happens in our world. And so we get the opportunity to consider what we're really thinking. So that can be a challenge on occasion. We believe that everything is love. Everything is a call to love, or it is an act of love. So it doesn't matter. So we just hold that truth. And finally, in the midst of that idea, we know that each one of us shows up here whole, perfect, and complete. There's nothing that needs to be fixed or changed. We just get the opportunity to express more of who we are. And so with that, I would like to recognize, to greet everyone. If you're online with us for the very first time, we are grateful you are here. If you're in the room with us for the second or third time, that means you're a little nuts, but we appreciate you coming anyway. There you go. Okay, we got that going on. We have folks that may be with us for the first time today, and we just want to greet you and say thank you for being here, and we want to thank each one of us for being here. So we're going to bless everybody. We're going to bless those online who we can't see. We're going to bless ourselves. You guys get to bless us. You can see us, however. So we're going to take our hands, rub them together, get a little energy flowing, and we're going to allow that energy to flow from us to those around us, and say this to one another: we see you. We know who you really are. You are that divine emanation of spirit. You are a jewel of the Most High. And so we give thanks for you. And we welcome you to Rio Grande Center. All right. All right. It's time. Now you get to see the cool book.
Oh, okay. He wants me to show you this book. This was a paperback of The Science of Mind that a long time ago my husband had bound. There's a bindery here, and he had it bound for me. So it's kind of an old book. And then my sister, who loves to decorate things, decorated that for me. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so anyway, it's kind of a special book to me. So I'm going to read from it, but first, I better not lose that. But first, we will do our vision and mission statement. Please join me in reading it. Our vision, transforming our world with the power of love in action. And the mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. And for the reading today, I chose a section from Science of Mind on page 478 called Love. And the citation here is from the Bible, John 13:34-35. Love. Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. It is written that God is love, and that we are his express likeness, the image of the eternal being. Love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of the divine through the human. Love is an essence, an atmosphere, which defies analysis, as does life itself. It is that which is and cannot be explained. It is common to all people, to all animal life, and evident in the response of plants to those who love them. Love reigns supreme over all. The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. Only love knows love, and love knows only love. Words cannot express its depth or meaning. A universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact. God is love, and love is God. That's our reading. And now we are going to have some music from Susan, to be followed by a talk by our own Reverend Gill.
You can play the game and you can act out the parts, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice and just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say, just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Tell me what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Won't you tell somebody that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You know you gotta shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You better shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. You gotta show the people you love with love. You gotta show them the way that you feel. Don't take too much to do. You'll feel much better right away. Don't take too much to do. Sell your pride. They say in every life, they say the rain must fall, just like a pouring rain. Make it rain, make it rain. Love, love, love is sunshine. Love, love is sunshine. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, thank you. Shower the people with love. You ever think about that? What about showering the people you don't love with love? It's a thought I had. So I am going to share with you the parable of the Good Samaritan this morning. This is from biblical scripture from the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. On one occasion, an expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he asked, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" "What is written in the law?" he replied. "How do you read it?" He answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." "You answered correctly," Jesus replied. "Do this, and you will live." But he wanted to justify himself, so he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" And Jesus said this: "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, And then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I will reimburse you for anything extra that you may have. Which of these do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? The expert of the law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise. I won't say most. I heard that a lot growing up. I don't know who else is familiar with that story, but I wanted to read it to make it really clear. I think there's some great stuff in there about neighbor. Who is our neighbor? And what I found fascinating in looking at this is that actually when the man asks, who is my neighbor? Jesus shows him the example of someone who is acting as a neighbor. He doesn't emphasize that the guy on the road is your neighbor. He emphasized that the person walking down the road can either be neighborly or not, and has that choice. So we have the choice to love our neighbor or walk around them on the other side of the road. And I know that this idea tugs hard on some of us. And we see it every day. There's the potential to see this every day, just driving down the street. And sometimes it's really easy to not see a neighbor. Just a couple days ago, I pulled into Subway to pick up my sandwiches because you can tell I need them. So I needed to get my sustenance. And a young man came up to my door and he said, you need to get to the transportation center and basically downtown. And this is out 25 minutes from there. And he hadn't been able to get the bus, et cetera, et cetera. And I made a decision that I would just take him. And so I said, yeah, let me just go inside and get what I'm getting, and we'll go. So he got in the car after I came out, and we drove down there. We chatted a little. He slept a little. He was tired. But it got him where he was going, and he was extremely appreciative. And it was a very simple thing, and it didn't cost me much. But it was an opportunity to actually be the neighbor and to see someone else as a neighbor, even though that's not a person that's normally in my orbit. There's a lot of people that aren't normally in our orbit. But that doesn't mean they're outside of being our neighbor. It doesn't mean they're outside of this idea of who we love and who we care about. And Jesus tells this story and makes it very, very clear. How many of you have heard of the Good Samaritan experiment? Anybody heard of that? Okay. Well, 1973, John Darley and Daniel Batson at Princeton University's Theological Seminary decided to do an experiment. Aha, science. We love that here at the Science of Mind, right? Yes, so we got a little empirical stuff going on here. So they got together some participants, and they gave them an assignment, and one half of them were to write a story, a thing about how to get a job, and the other part was to write something about the story of the Good Samaritan. Then they told them that you will need to go across campus to give your speech when the time is here. So they went on with this, and as each one was sent across campus, of course, they encountered someone clearly in distress. Yes, clearly in distress. And some of them walked by on the other side. And some of them stopped and helped. Some of them stopped and wouldn't leave until they knew that the person was okay, that whatever needed to happen had happened. Well, interesting piece of this thing that I didn't really understand before, that not only did they have the two groups, but within the groups they were told 3 different things. One, head on across, you got, 20 minutes or whatever it is, plenty of time to get there, don't worry about it. Another group was told, you got to go because you got to get there. And then one group was told, look, you're already late, get your butt moving and get over there. And you know what? If we don't have time, according to this experiment anyway, we tend to not be as compassionate. And I thought to myself, oh no. It was really easy to look at the story and go, yeah, these seminary students, and there they are writing the story about the Good Samaritan, and they just run by this guy. Well, they're told that if they don't get over here and do this thing, they're going to be late. And how do we respond to that? That's going to reflect on who? Me. I'm going to either I'm going to be looked upon poorly, or whatever this thing is I'm participating in, I'm going to let down because I didn't do the right thing. I didn't show up the right way. So when the decision narrows in about when we love someone, when we offer compassion, when we offer assistance, when the time frame narrows, it challenges us. It challenges us. What is really important? What's really important? Is it my arrival somewhere? Is it helping this person? Now, that understanding of the story gave me some different compassion for people, because I understood, wow, that is so fascinating in terms of how we think. But the bottom line is, who do we decide is our neighbor? And how do we decide to show love? Sometimes showing love is pretty timeless, doesn't require a lot of time, and it's painless. You ever just taken that moment to actually smile when you walk by someone? And sometimes they sort of light up, phew, and you go, oh, wow, that was easy. Or sometimes you just have a word to just say, oh, good morning. And if they don't fall over, they may greet you back. There's, very simple things that we do all the time to acknowledge. And how do we acknowledge one another? There's a lot of ways. A lot of ways. And I think the question is, are we willing to just push our envelope a little bit? And are we willing to evaluate, to really look at something and go, you know what? There's a real need right here. And if it was me, what would I do for me if I had this real need? How do I take care of myself? Now, we talked about this last week, and that is the idea that if we don't know how to take care of ourselves, we can't take care of the others. And again, that statement is from this particular passage. Love your neighbor as yourself. So perhaps one of the places to start is, what do I do when I need something, when I need support, when I need to let something go from my life, when I need to embrace something? Do I push myself to ignore it? Do I tell myself I don't have enough time to spend on this? Do I walk away from it? Do I avoid it? Walk on the other side. You ever avoided anything in your life? Okay, that got a chuckle. Yeah, we avoid things all the time, right? Because it doesn't challenge. If we can avoid it, we don't have to challenge all the thoughts and feelings we have. We don't have to actually push ourselves to getting better. See, if we don't stop to look at the wounds on the person, then we don't have to think about the fact that when we walk by, it may be a life and death decision. But if we haven't really looked, we don't really know that. So therefore, we can move on. And I think we do that with ourselves. We don't sometimes avoid looking at the pain we have inside, and so we get used to avoiding looking at the pain because it's too much. If I acknowledge your wounds, I have to acknowledge mine. And if I acknowledge mine, my world falls apart. Does it have to fall apart? No. No. But it certainly feels like it's going to. One of my favorite things when I was going through practitioner training was Reverend Michael Reverend Michael Beckwith from Agape, talking about that point of breakdown is breakthrough. When we hit that point where we have to go, I have nothing. I have nothing, and I'm going to give all that I have. That's where the breakthrough occurs. And when we can see that when we walk up to someone else, when we can say, I don't have anything to really offer this person, except I see that they need something, and I'm going to stand here and embrace them, whether symbolically or literally, and hold them. And that's the place where I get to break through my stuff, and they get to break through theirs. So love thy neighbor is all about loving ourselves and being willing to break down and break through. And so I'm just calling us today to really think about that, to really think about that idea of breaking through to loving our neighbor. Okay. There we go. So, if I go back to the story, I think there were some basic things that Jesus was saying. One, in order to love our neighbor, we have to love ourselves. Two, the Samaritan is demonstrating how to show up as a neighbor. And three, everyone is our neighbor. anyone we might run across is that neighbor. Whether they fit into the box of people we normally hang out with, whether they fit into the box of somebody involved in some activity or group that we don't approve of, whether they fit into whatever box, they're still our neighbor. And we still get the opportunity to break through whatever that is in ourselves and in them, and to reach a place of love. And that's our call. So I'm going to invite you to just take a minute and pray with me. I invite practitioners and ministers to surround the room as we just hold one another in this place of love. As we see every person in this room and online as our neighbor, and that each one of us in that circle sees those in the circle as we look out from this group as our neighbor. And we see the truth that loving our neighbor requires us to love ourselves, requires us to confront whatever it is that's hurting and love it, embrace it, have compassion, have forgiveness. And in that space we get to then share that with someone else. So I'm knowing right here and right now that in the midst of all things in our world, all that we see, all that's happening, we know that God is fully present right there. We know that in the midst of whatever's happening, whatever breakdown's happening in our political world, in our physical world, wherever it is, that truly, with enough love and compassion, there is breakthrough. There is something more. We are truly more than this, whatever it is. Our lives are filled with the essence of Spirit. While I am not the manipulator of the universe, all that the universe is available to me. It's present right where I am, for I am of that stuff, and that is true of each one of us. It's true of each and every one. So I'm knowing that our neighbor is everywhere. And I'm knowing that the opportunity to be the neighbor is always present. And it is simply the act of love. So I stand in this place knowing that love is. Love is the power. Love is the grace. Love is the absolute perfection of our lives. And so, knowing that, I know that we go in love, that we are love, that we allow love to radiate as us. We allow love to radiate in such a way that we don't even have to consciously love our neighbor, because love is already happening. So we stand in that place of love. We accept it. We embrace it. And we live our lives forward in it. And so for this and so much more, I am truly grateful. And I give great and abundant thanks. And I know that this word is simply the word of Spirit spoken through me. And that it has already been, it's already the truth, it's been the truth. But in that acknowledgement then, I simply allow it to be what it is. And say, and so it is. Amen. So thank you so much for being here. We are going to have a fun day. I know you thought this was the fun, I'm sure, but it gets better from here. So we get to show up and offer who we are. And a little bit later, you will see some very serious people looking for people to offer who they are. So look out for that. Don't sneak out the back. And right now, we're going to offer our gifts in terms of our beloved treasures that allow us to support and to build this place. I learned something fascinating the other day, and that is our ability to support this community has been increasing. And, yeah, exactly. When you put the numbers on paper, you go, oh, look at that. Wow. Now, concurrently with that, we also experienced a little increase in outgo, which makes it look like sometimes we're not really doing that, but we are. And we're moving in the right direction, and we are right. It's anyway, I can't even express what I feel about it, but it's good. It's good, and it's encouraging, because the feeling of the rest of it is that way. And so, when you're somebody like me that's a little stunted in their ability to look at numbers and understand them, when somebody can come to you and go, look at this, it's really helpful. So, thank you so much. So let us just take our gifts if we have them. If not, just hold your hand on your heart and let us speak these words, knowing this truth of ourselves. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously, and so it is. So those of you online, please, there's some information flowing across the screen. You can go to our website. Those things are all true for everyone in the room, and you can also come forward and put something in the basket while you listen to Susan.
I'm going to do a song for you that I wrote. Actually wrote it when I was working up at the Denver CSL. And our minister, Patrick Soren, was having ordination service. And I said, I'm going to write a song just for you. So he sent me some notes about how he was feeling, and this is what came out. This is called Let Kindness Show the Way. When you're deep in despair, when it seems no one cares, let kindness show the way. When you're angry and lost, don't be so hard on yourself. Let kindness show the way. When you're troubled and spent, filled with shame and regret, let kindness show the way. Step outside of your fear, speak your truth till it's clear. Let kindness show the way. Dreams really can come true. Your thoughts create your field of view. Whatever you are thinking of becomes the things you do. Let what you bring to this world be inspired by God's word. Let kindness show the way. Let kindness show the way. what you bring to this world. Be inspired by God's word. Let kindness show the way. Before you love someone else, you must first love yourself. Let kindness show the way. Let kindness show the way. Let kindness show the way. Thank you.
And so, as we are led by kindness in loving our neighbors, I just take this moment to be grateful. To be grateful for what we have to give, to be grateful for what we are able to receive. And for all of these gifts that support this community and its ministry into the greater community. So I am giving thanks, knowing that it is perfect. And so it is. So everybody, we'd like to invite you to get some prayer after service. Over here in our prayer garden, there will be practitioners available, whether you want to multiply your blessings or whether you are looking for something to hold you up in the moment. You don't have to, either one's good. In fact, one in the middle is good too. So, pardon me. So we'll have practitioners over there. We also have other ways to request prayer, and people are offering prayer throughout the week. But there's a basket in the back, not a basket, but a chest in the back, and a form, and you can fill out what you want prayer for and drop it in the basket, in the box. There's a prayer form, I think, at the back of the chairs. There's a prayer form online, which then goes out to our practitioners. And so all of those ways work. And the bottom line is, the reason all those ways work is because prayer works, right? That's the point. Okay, the point is not just that you can ask us to do stuff. So it's actually so that we each have the opportunity to support one another in what's happening. So it's been a great morning so far, and like I said, it's not over yet. So we get to take the next few minutes, and we're going to have some announcements, and then we'll have our closing prayer and our closing song. And so, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And so I need there I go. I need Brian to come forward. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here he comes. Brian with announcements. All right.
Thank you. Man, what a great message. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Actually, it may be a big story. Next Sunday, I won't be here. I'm going to cry. Next Sunday, I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be celebrating the 75th birthday of a very dear friend who I helped get off the street in 1991 and helped him network into a place to live, and then he freaked out and he disappeared. And then I saw him again in June of 2000, 200 miles south, 10 years later, on another street corner, and said, "Oh my God, it's you." He's like, "Yeah, so I helped him get off the street." And the guy who was running the Austin, Texas street ministry, a guy named Brother Isaac, paid for his bus fare to Southern Oregon, where I had networked people up there waiting for him. And he got up there on the bus. I gave him my backpack. And he managed to network his way into a job, got injured on the job, ended up in the hospital, and while he was in the hospital, he had a schizophrenic episode. And they realized, oh my God, this guy's schizophrenic, let's get him some meds. And that was in June of 2000. And for the last 23 years, he's lived in subsidized housing and is the most faithful human being I have ever met. When he was on the street for 32 years, in McKinney, Texas, and Austin, Texas, he would roam around gathering money and going to all of the different restaurants in downtown Austin, gathering food in a shopping cart to distribute to his buddies on the street. Anyway, his name's David Rodriguez, and that's who I'll be seeing next Sunday, and why I won't be here. And it all started with a guy coming up to me saying, "Hey man, can I borrow your fishing pole? I need to eat." And I let him borrow my fishing pole so he could eat. And every day that summer, he caught fish. Rain, shine, didn't matter if anyone else around the lake was catching fish. He caught fish every day. And it's like, he's just a walking miracle. So anyway, be a good neighbor. Stop and notice. And if you're moved to say yes, do so. Anyway, I'll have other announcements in a minute. But for now, Mark Ayers and Lisa come up and talk about the opportunities that everyone has to serve.
Good morning, RGCSL. I had one of the nice things about being part of the fun ministry, or being the fun ministry, is that I get to make all the fun announcements. So I actually went up to Norm before services today and asked him to give me a big hug so I could channel him, because I was like, man, give me that energy, Norm, and I love it. We could not have had a better topic today, being a good Samaritan, and we're going to have a lot of opportunities for people to do that. But one thing I'd like to say is that you talked, we listened. What you said is you wanted a place where you felt a sense of community, where you felt a sense of belonging, where you felt a sense of purpose, where you could give and receive love. Well, that is this place. And today there are going to be so many opportunities for you to do that. And with that, I'm going to step aside and let Mark take over.
So we're having an activities fair, and we have a small group of very willing and cheerful individuals who are going to come up, and afterwards we're going to be in the social hall, and you can come by and sign up. So I'd like to begin with our first model, our own minister. This is called the casual ministerial look. You can only pull this off in New Mexico. But he's carrying a fabulous sign-up board for our Board of Trustees. And what you don't know, and just come right up front here so they can all see this fabulous look. And so our Board of Trustees is going to be, we're losing half of the board in a month or so. And so
Actually losing them. They're just going off the board.
Right, okay.
Yeah, okay. We know where they are.
No, you're here for show, not
okay.
tell. Okay. So we need some really good people who might like to join us in service and leadership for this particular community. All right, the next look is called the very dignified practitioner look. So that would be you. Yep, no, that's you. Okay. And you'll notice the beautiful earrings, the scarf, and all of that. And that's because this is for our Sacred Spaces team, which has been doing all kind of great things. The Sacred Spaces is really looking how to rent out this space and how to bring more income. They have booked 2 funerals, one later this month, which is going to bring in about $600, and another one in October that may bring in about $1,000. And so there's all kind of things. But we need some people from here to be able to help us support that, okay? And so social hall, parking attendant, janitorial, musicians, and Chris is heading up that team, and she'll be available afterwards to talk to you more about that. Oh, and it pays, right? It does say paid over there. So, okay, so you can talk to her about that. All right, our next look is full of joy. Grace, come on up, okay? Just radiates joy, and look at the walk and everything, the flowing, okay? Just gorgeous. We are looking for an events team. The events team actually is going to need a coordinator, and this includes some stuff like the fun team and the Dia de los Muertos. So that'll be available afterwards, and Grace will be there, and you can sign up and all of that. Okay, and then. This is the only thing we have in a youthful look available today. But come on up here. Yeah, you'll notice no gray hair. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. No gray hair, no cane or anything like that. And Hannah needs some help on the IT tech team. We do have some lovely volunteers over there who are helping with all of that. And we also need some additional help on the bulletin and website team. And so Hannah will be back there afterwards, and go see her and sign up. Okay. Now, this is a very special look. This is called the Sagacious Poet look, okay? And you're going to notice the glasses. Come on up, Lou. Okay. The glasses, the really decorated artistic shirt, and of course the wise hair there. So Lou is sporting our sandwich board for Kitchen Angels. We do need a couple more people to help us with the cleanup afterwards on Sundays, and Thanksgiving dinner. Mike Hacker's been our coordinator for years, and Mike may not be here this Thanksgiving. The good news, Mike McPherson hasn't signed up yet, but he and his partner are going to be our Thanksgiving. No, they're preparing the turkeys, and so okay, yeah, you can see why, and so we'll be doing our Thanksgiving dinner. We do need a coordinator, somebody. It's a really very manageable job, lots of help, and a lot of people stay to help and all that. So we need that. All right, and speaking of turkeys, yeah. This is particularly a Placidus turkey get-up, and Mike is holding up two really important ones. We're going to do our pledge campaign starting in October, and we call it Partners 2024. Sherry Noon and Gil are co-chairing that. They need some help. We need to really, as Gil said, we walked through some of currently what we're dealing, and we really need to ramp up what it means to be a partner and be a part of here. And additionally, Mike has got some great ideas for fundraising. And hi, Hilda. Like a concert, silent auction. I didn't want to volunteer anybody, but okay. Hilda's going to sign up on the first. Anyway, so if you have some ideas and some energy there, we would love to have you do that. Some of our newest members, and they're already jumping on board. And you can't get Bob without getting Jackie, so we had to put them together. So.
It's obviously beauty and.
I don't want to get in any trouble. So why don't you come on up together here? Here's really cool news. Bob Kermott has agreed to be our new outreach coordinator. I'm not going to tell you how long we've been without an outreach coordinator, almost 3 years. Anyways, but now we do. And so Lisa, I want to give credit where credit's due. Lisa has been on the phone. We have a chairperson to do Michelle's Giving Tree this year. We have a chairperson to lead the homeless assistance team. We have a chairperson to lead the Hug-A-Bear as well. So she's already been finding people for those ministries. And Dia de los Muertos as well. So those things are all going to happen. And they're not going to help.
And
Go ahead.
And also, outreach entails much more. It's whatever you can think, wherever you see need, wherever you can help somebody. It might be with addictions. It might be getting out to youth or bringing college folk in because they have a lot to offer. So thank you.
Okay. And so these people, these fine people, will be with their signboards in the back, and we would love to see some names on there. And I'm going to give way to the chair of our activities fair, who's done a great job organizing.
So what else I'd like, I guess the other thing I'd like to say is there are a lot of people in our community that aren't sitting in this room today. So if you're online, whether you're watching through YouTube, Facebook, or if you watch this later, please just call the center and talk to Nancy and give her your name and what you would like to volunteer for. I'm sorry I don't have a slide prepared with that number on it, but it's available on our website. We love all of you, and this is a great way just to fill your soul. So thank you very much.
That's it.
But wait, there's more. On October the 11th, drum circle, 5 o'clock on the 11th? Okay, 5 o'clock, October the 11th, come down, be here for the drum circle. It seems to be getting bigger and more exciting every time we have it. Be there again, it's a blast. RGCSO working groups, the Space Working Group kind of got mentioned, Partners 24 Working Group kind of got mentioned, Community Building Working Group kind of got mentioned. See Reverend Gill, see Sherry, find Lisa, find all the people who were holding signs a little while ago. Get over there for that because it's just really good. Grace is started off doing like reflexology in the back room. Now we've got a whole bunch of folks doing healing work. Check that out because it's all part of what Spirit's doing to move, right? It's all part of the same thing. We have a big community retreat coming up the last weekend in October 27th through the 29th. $325 per person. This includes lodging and food, right? Yeah. And it's going to be a blast. It's all about the joyous power of connection. Oh, and cookies and community. I mean, come on. The cookies alone would be worth it. Anyway, it's going to be at Our Lady of Guadalupe Monastery in Pecos, New Mexico, near Santa Fe. Find Marilyn Kirk or Marilyn O'Leary, grab them, say hi. We've got flyers in a container here that she's not Vanna White, but she gives a great demo. And this is sample cookies and flyers.
So everybody gets a cookie, and if you need a gluten-free cookie, ask Barbara, and all the information is attached.
Awesome. And I'll see you guys in the bookstore. Come into the bookstore, even if you've never bought anything in the bookstore, because if we can get your name, email address that we can and a cell number that we can send a text to, we can get you on the rewards program at the bookstore. Every $50 you spend, you're going to get $5 back in stuff. So consider that as well. Thank you.
Cookies. I also am signing people up for the retreat after the service. So if you want to sign up now, come today, and I will be there. I might be there more than that. But come. Pardon me? The early bird discount, I don't have my prices in front of me, but if you sign up before October 1st, it's $50 less than the normal price. So come and sign up, and it's worth it. It's worth it. It'll be great. So we want as many people as possible to come to the retreat. We had a practitioner retreat at the same place a year ago. It was so much fun. And Reverend Gill and Robin really know how to plan a fun retreat. And it's relaxing and it's spiritual. Really, I've never been to one quite as wonderful. So I'm coming back to this one, and I hope to see you all there. It's going to be great. All right. Susan? No? Talia. We're going to close with a prayer by Talia, and then we're going to have a closing song by Susan. Thank you all for being here today. It was great to see everybody.
What a lovely spirit. So see, this is just part of the spirit of joy and love. Love that brings us together, and it's love that enables us to share, to go out from our hearts to our neighbors, whoever that neighbor may be. And then let us remember, as Reverend Gill has reminded us, that we begin with loving ourselves. Indeed, love is where it all begins. Love is the divine emanation of all creation. So may love fill your path this week. Wherever you go, whoever you see, whatever it is that you may do or not do as you choose and are so inspired. May you know that love is above, below, and all about you, as well as intimately within. It is the sacred in everything and everyone. And so allow yourself to know this blessing, be the blessing, and give always love with delight, kindness, joy, harmony, wisdom, and your own divine essence, which is God's essence, as we are one, always and forever, beginning here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, with all our wondrous teams and joy. So please say with me, and so it is.
If you would please stand, we have a closing song to end the morning. 1967, that's how old this song is, right? I'm still older than that, though. Love is but a song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains rain or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. beautiful night.